we go. The road to Oz Highway, my friends. Let's follow it, shall we? Here's the Kansas River. We're entering Wamego. I'm here to see some Oz. Well, here's what we came for. The Oz Museum. Look at that. See Dorothy and the Scarecrow up in the windows. All kinds of scenes from the movie, including the flying monkey right there. Toto. We've actually been to Toto's grave. They call it the Poppy Dog. This should be a lot of fun. This should be a lot of fun. Look, oh, even a creepy flying monkey above the sign over there. And over here as well. Oh, and another painted dog. I love it. But before we go in, we're actually going to go across the street and walk down the Yellow Brick Road. Literally as directly across the street as you can get. Welcome to the Yellow Brick Road. Now there is also an Oz type attraction in Liberty that I did once before, but I've never done this one. I love it. The Emerald City Toto. Here's the scene of the house being lifted off. Never liked her. The house whirled around 2 or 3 times and rose slowly through the air. Then as we turn around, tribute to L. Frank Baum and W.W. Denslow. Thanks for all the joy you've given. It says Toto did not really care whether he was in Kansas or the land of Oz, so long as Dorothy was with him. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. For brains do not make one happy, and happiness is the best thing in the world. And then as we follow the Yellow Brick Road, here we meet the Tin Man. It says, "No one can love who has not a heart, and so I am resolved to ask Oz to give me one." Oh, and the Cowardly Lion, crying his eyes away. True courage is facing danger when you are afraid. With Toto at his side. How awesome is this? This is just the alleyway. That must be the Emerald City, said Dorothy. And look at all the poppies. And as you go down here, there's another fancy Toto dressed up like he's the wizard. And they're welcoming us to their town. There's no place like home. Let's get in there and see that museum. Like I said, the outside is just amazing. There's the Gale's mailbox and the bike with the basket. When you first walk in, they have a wind tunnel to simulate the tornado. We have a barn. We have the freaking house that we're gonna enter the museum through. And look in the gift shop. This giant Tin Man with a glowing heart. So we're going to enter through there, and you can see the bike is on the roof. So we just walked in Auntie M's front door from the porch. I had no idea what to expect. I've never looked this up or anything. I just love The Wizard of Oz. It is the most watched movie of all time. And look at this. Little scene from Munchkin Land. Well, a big scene. I love this. Even painted on the ceilings. And they said that there's, I believe, 2,000 artifacts here that we're gonna see. Well, we're probably not gonna see that many, but that's what they have because, of course, it was a book first. Look at that. Now over here are all the L. Frank Baum books. And as far as the Wizard of Oz and Land of Oz and the Ozma of Oz and all that, he wrote tons of books. It was not just the Wizard of Oz. You can see here before he was successful at writing books, he actually owned a Baum's Bazaar, sold sporting goods and various items, wild assortment of tableware, glassware, lamps, baskets, novelties. And he also sold chinaware in 1891 for the Chicago-based Pitkin and Brooks. It's a traveling salesman. Here you can see all the various merchandise that's been made in foreign languages for different cultures of the Wizard of Oz, or the wonderful Land of Oz, or any of the different variations on it. Then of course that was a huge movie for little people, because, you know, before this there were just not a ton of jobs for little people, and then they made this movie and they basically did a nationwide search for little people, and a lot of them moved out to Hollywood and got into movies from this. Continued to work long after this. The costumes over here are replicas made for a festival, but they're supposedly very accurate.
The Wizard of Oz hasn't developed because of the novel's focus. It goes a lot deeper.
And over here they have a signed photo from Judy Garland. So I believe the story, you can see they have a little memorial for Toto. I believe Toto was buried on the farm that he was raised on, and then eventually the farm was taken over by eminent domain and the freeway was put up there, so they have an honorary memorial and statue of Toto at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I don't know what this is, this little thing of Dorothy and Toto, but it has a little card on it that says that during filming, Toto was stepped on by a Winky guard. It took a few weeks for the little dog to be well enough for filming again. That's sad. It says this pair of hand-jeweled ruby slippers was created to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the making of the movie. They're fashioned on a vintage shoe with over 3,500 Swarovski crystal rhinestones. And then here is dressed similar replica to what she wore in the movie. But they do have a little fabric swatch of one of the original dresses, since they had several that she wore in the movie. And there's an original swatch of the material. Now as we move on, one of my favorites, Ray Bolger, the Scarecrow. Always thought he was just so amazing in the movie. I love it. I love how they created all these little scenes for people to take photos with. Too bad he doesn't jump up and start talking and dancing around. I mean, you don't, do ya? I guess not. Wow, take a look at this quilt. This thing's huge. I can't even fit it in frame. It's got so many amazing scenes from the movie, from along their journey. Extremely well done. But the center itself is just amazing. All of them coming up the yellow brick road right here, and Oz glowing in the distance. Here's a picture of W.C. Fields. Said he was originally cast as the wizard. I totally can see that. He would have made a great wizard. I said he turned it down part due to salary disagreements. He was actually the second choice for the role. The first was Ed Wynn. Frank Morgan ultimately ended up playing the part though. And then apparently Shirley Temple Black was almost Dorothy. This year's Oscars gave the world another chance to see Shirley Temple Black, America's foremost child star, who was almost Dorothy. Never had heard that before. And here they have a signed piece by Victor Fleming, who I think did a fantastic job making the movie. He was the director. Here's Judy Garland at the age of 16 reading The Wizard of Oz after she had already been cast in it. There's Maud Baum reading The Wizard of Oz. She was the widow of L. Frank Baum. Here they have a replica of the Prince Dennis costume, and it's talking about how Adrian was making the costumes for this movie during this time. It's the head of the costume department for MGM from 1928 to 1941. Adrian worked on over 200 films. His unique approach to the design was far more hands-on than that of his contemporaries and typically involved sketching intricate costumes designs for his staff to bring to life as finished pieces. So let's look at the drawing he made of this. And then as we continue on, more toys and merchandising, dolls, troll dolls in the theme of Wizard of Oz, showboat in the theme of Wizard of Oz. Now, speaking of hiding behind the apple tree, there's the Tin Man, the Tin Woodsman. They again have painted an entire scene right there. Very well done. There's his little oil can. Here they're showing how they did the tornado scenes, something like that. Then you can see the little model of the house up there. Here they have a dress and some replica ruby slippers, and what they're saying here is they're saying that it was a 3-strip color process to make the Wizard of Oz. So they said for this reason, special procedures need to be taken with many of the props and costumes used in the movie. For example, the red slippers are more of a dark maroon, and Dorothy's white blouse had a slight tint of pink to allow colors to pop more on screen. And then it's saying the Surrender Dorothy special effect was created using a glass tank filled with a thick tinted watery substance and a needle spreading black ink on the bottom. It says the Tin Man's funnel was filled with compressed air and talcum powder, which allowed for special effects during the dance routine. That's cool. And then I've been to the Academy Museum and seen the lights from Wizard of Oz, but this is one that was like it that they used on set just to show how big they would have been. And then here they're talking about how they did the crystal ball effects. It says the wizard's head was used by using front projection. The images appeared outside Dorothy's window were achieved using a rear projection screen. Picture of Buddy Ebsen in the Tin Man preliminary uniform, because he was one of the people that was originally considered for the Tin Man. That's right, Jed Clampett. Jack Haley replaced him. The aluminum makeup was giving Buddy Ebsen a problem that they were using, so they switched it from a powder to a paste form. Said it still gave Jack Haley eye infections, but wasn't quite as bad. Thinking that Buddy Ebsen could have been the Tin Man. He even called his autobiography The Other Side of Oz. Bert Lahr. He was the perfect Cowardly Lion, wasn't he? My opinion. And then over here, we have what looks like different books and games and illustrations and different interpretations of the stories. And then we have a theater over here. That is really cool. They're even promoting The Wiz, Michael Jackson and The Wiz. Oh, look at that. That's really cool also. Tells the story of the Wizard of Oz on that wood. You can see the tornado and the house and everything. I also love on the side of the theater has all their names, people that starred in it. So if we come inside the theater, of course, you can watch The Wizard of Oz.
I'm Linda, the Witch of the North. You are?
And we have more to see. I can't be showing you the whole movie, you've seen it. So let's continue on and go visit. Oh, what's this? Olga. There's a little case to Olga the dancing doll. So that's her dress and her shoes, and she's the Munchkin. She's the first one to come out and greet Dorothy. One of the sleepy heads in the big nest. They have her makeup kit and everything that she used to get ready, as well as her traveling wardrobe. And then look at this. If you look on the ground where we've been walking right out in front of the theater, they have handprints. I'm seeing Toto 2 written on that one. Munchkin Love. Now let's go see The Cowardly Lion. My favorite, I'll tell you what was not my favorite that I hated were the flying monkeys. The Cowardly Lion, always loved it. Put 'em up! Put 'em up! What a characterization. The voice and everything he gave the Cowardly Lion was just so perfect. Now, let's follow the yellow brick road into the haunted forest. Margaret Hamilton, you terrify me. There he is dressed as the guard. When they sneak in, I always love that scene. Here they have a signed photo, well, signatures under the photo of Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch, right there. And the Good Witch Glenda, Billy Burke, right there. That's kind of cool to see. This case is all Wicked Witch stuff. You can see a broom up here. Personal letters from Margaret Hamilton. They actually translated it, so I'll tell you what it says. It says, I'm up to my brows in learning a part in Ring Around the Moons, rather long, very complicated. Wish I had time to write. I can barely manage my family letters. I look for what I feel is the essence of the character. It is pure feeling, how I feel, and I can't really tell you. I don't know. You cannot read anything without feeling something. If the author is good, you feel what he is trying to convey, and then you interrupt the feeling. The author has given you in every way you have at your command, eyes, ears, speech, body. Make it into what you want, you and your director want. Here they've got that hourglass. It doesn't say who the other options were, but it says Margaret Hamilton was not the first choice for the part of the Wicked Witch. So over here they have the scene of her with the flying monkey looking in the magic ball, her giving him orders. And then look at this right behind me. That is awesome. I love the way he did the costumes for this. It's absolutely amazing. It says the spear that he's holding is the original, or an original. That's really cool. It says this original 10.5-foot long spear was created by designer Adrian for the original, or for the 1939 MGM film The Wizard of Oz. Metal spearhead is 30 inches tall by 11 inches wide. The Winky Ghost holding the spear is wearing a replica of the original uniform, giving a glimpse of the complexity of Adrian's design. But that is an original. Over here we have Glenda. Our scene of Glenda the Good Witch. They give everybody their own scene pretty much. Billy Burke. This is interesting. I never had seen this, but it says windows and doors of this Munchkin house were used on the set of the film The Muppets Wizard of Oz, releasing in May of 2005. I didn't even know about that. Then over here, where we're supposed to meet the wizard, you can see he's painted on the wall. Bell out of order, please knock. This, you actually get the feel of the poppy fields. If you're doing a little photo op. Now we're going to head in through here. I'm excited to see what is in this. Wow, that is freaking awesome. I love it. Oh my God, that's so great. Wow, how creative to recreate the scene of them getting in the hot air balloon. I love it. And right beside it, they have the little weapon that Frank Morgan, the wizard, is carrying around. It's like a gun with, you can see here, like a horn at the end, and it says this was created for the Emerald City scenes in MGM's 1939 Wizard of Oz. The weapon was carried by Frank Morgan, the Emerald City Guard at the Wizard Castle. Note the etching in gold leaf design on the stock. This weapon was loaded not with bullets but with flowers. And that's the etching they're talking about. Here's some boots that were worn by Christy Cates as Denizen in the Broadway production of Wicked. Paying homage to The Wiz, which I loved as a kid also, Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. I hate to say it, but we have pretty much come to the end of the road, at least in here. But before we leave, written on the door, it says, "When I was young, I longed to write a great novel that should win me fame. Now that I am getting old, my first book is written to amuse children. For aside from my evident inability to do anything great, I have learned to regard fame as a well-wisp which, when caught, is not worth the possession. But to please a child is a sweet and loving thing that warms one's heart and brings its own reward. I hope my book will succeed in every way, that the children will like it. L. Frank Baum." And you come out of the farmhouse when you open the door. Right there to Dorothy's basket. I love it. I have to get a shirt, and this is the one. I went to see The Wizard About a Brain, and all I got was this shirt. That's so me. I just love this place. I can't say enough nice things. They have a little coin maker over here. They've even painted all the ceilings to feel like you're in the movie. You can buy the socks. You can buy the little slippers, children's slippers. And some really cool welcome mats. That was awesome. What a place, what a place, what a place. It definitely did not disappoint. I would love to know, they're just all kind of faded. Love to know if Jerry Marin and people, oh, you know what? I think that is Jerry Marin right there. I'm gonna say, you would think the ones out front would all be the original Munchkins, so pretty sure that was Jerry Marin right there. May have to also give them not only an award for just being an awesome museum, but maybe the coolest exterior of a museum as well. You just want to walk in there when you see it. Now I want to go down the street and check out the park because they have a big windmill there, and I love windmills. Oh yeah, I see it. Man, she's a big one too. I love it. Little foreign influence here. As I made it over to the park with the windmill, I noticed they have like, in the park, they've created like a little village of old buildings from town and a little train ride here. And they've got the cannon over here, but you can actually walk up the back side of the Dutch windmill as well. This old building is the Wamego Museum now. I want to read what the front of the sign says, the history of the windmill. There's an alternate stone path up to the side of the windmill as well over here. The sign says, built in 1879, 12 miles north of Wamego by a Dutch immigrant. This old mill is used to grind grain into flour and cornmeal. In 1925, 35 team and wagons moved the mill to Wamego. Each stone was taken down, numbered, and rebuilt exactly as the original. A bust of Ceres, goddess of grain, is set above the window. The mill is 25 feet in diameter and 40 feet high. Wow. Yeah, if we take the steps up, you can see her above the window. This little town's great. Alright my friends, we're gonna call it a day. I hope you guys enjoyed checking out the Oz Museum and everything we saw here in Wamego. That's it. Have a great night, and we'll see you all next time.